I just got home from a beautiful experience in Berlin, and I want to show you how you can slow travel in this incredible city in just 3 hours. A lot of times when we think about slow travel, we think we need to have several weeks or several months to stay in a place. But I want to show you today that it's really about tweaking your mindset. So I've been in Berlin for the last 1 month, and I plan to be here for the next year or so. So you're going to be seeing a lot more Berlin on my channel. And I also talk a lot about slow travel, how do we experience the world consciously, as well as about storytelling. So if these are subjects that are important to you, that you enjoy talking about, then do subscribe to my channel. So, the experience that I want to tell you about today is the Offline Club Berlin. This is a community of people that is encouraging people to go analog, where people are invited to surrender their phone and their digital lives for just 3 hours. And it's incredible what those 3 hours can do. So today we went to a beautiful, cozy tea room in the city, and the first thing we were asked to do was give up our phones. And these were tucked away in a little phone hotel, which I thought was so cute. But I think that moment of taking the phone from your pocket and just tucking it away in the phone hotel, I think it shifts something within you. At least it shifted something within me, because this is a device that I'm used to having on me the whole time. Even if I'm on an airplane, even if I'm in airplane mode, it's still around me. And then the community gathers, in this cozy space. They get their tea, for example, or their coffee or whatever they want to drink and take their seats. The first 1 hour is spent on solo time, so this is time that you have to yourself. This is like me time, and you can do whatever you want. So I carried my journal with me. I took a book to read, and I also took a course book of a Buddhist philosophy course that I've been doing. Just thinking about, whatever my mind feels like at the time, I could do. And I saw that people around me, some people were reading, some people were writing or journaling, some people had their knitting gear and they were knitting. Some people had brought like their drawing books and coloring books, and they were doing that. Someone was working on a mandala, which was pretty cool. And some people were just, kind of just zoning out, just letting themselves be. And I think it's so rare that in our fast paced, always connected lives, that we have this opportunity to truly tune out, to truly tune the digital world out and just be with ourselves. And I think something that I noticed during this time was that one, my mind really quietened down. I have a mind that's constantly restless, constantly running from one thought to another. But during this, towards the end of this 1 hour, I just felt myself really just feeling very calm and very composed. It was also interesting how I began to notice flavors in the tea, and we don't always tend to notice this. A quieter mind allows us to notice it. I also began to notice the music that was playing in the background, which was really beautiful. It was some nature sounds, and then some instrumental music. And all of this was just so calming, so relaxing. And I think once I went into this slow zone, I also became more aware of, how my life had been over the last 1 week. What are the things that I've been, wanting to finish? What are some of the challenges I was facing and why I was facing them? And also just some clarity about what I wanted to focus on the next few days. So after this 1 hour of me time, we then had 1 hour of social time. And this was like old school socializing, talking to the person who's sitting next to you, walking around the room, just saying hello to people and just, entering into random conversations. So I ended up having conversations with a Finnish traveler, someone from Germany who had, grown up here but who spent a long time traveling outside of the country. I met people from, someone who had grown up in Argentina, people who've been living in Berlin for several years, people who've just moved to Berlin. And it was so beautiful to have these free flowing conversations. And by the end of it, we were invited to share our tips for offline time. And I also walked away with some great ideas. So someone shared this app called 1 Sec, like 1 second, that allows you to, before you open, for example, a social media app, it reminds you to take a deep breath and think about why you're opening this app. Is it just out of, impulsiveness? Is it just out of compulsion? Or is there a real reason why you need to go and check something? And I thought that was a beautiful idea. The other idea was to wear a physical watch, which I don't do right now, but I'm going to be on the lookout to maybe thrift a watch. which would then allow me to see the time without having to look at my screen. Because what really happens is, if I have to check the time, I would tap my phone screen, but then the next thing would be to actually pick up the phone and maybe start scrolling. Another interesting tip that someone shared was to turn off the colors on your screen. And I know these are weird tips to share on a social media channel, but this is the world that we live in right now. But apparently, when you turn off, colors on your screen and make it black and white, you're a lot less tempted to keep scrolling because it's the colors that kind of help to release some of that dopamine that keeps us addicted. So that was really interesting, and that's something I am going to try. And there's also one tip that I shared with everyone, which is that at the end of every year, usually from Christmas to New Year, I take a complete break from my digital devices, especially from social media. So this is one complete week where I'm offline and gives me time to reflect on my year and also think about what I want my following year to be. So really getting into the new year with a bit more intention and purpose. And this is right around the corner, so I thought it would be a good time to share this tip. So I'm going to share a link to their Instagram in my caption. And yeah, I hope to see you around in one of these offline meetups.